Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Lindsay and this is my channel Lindsay Talks a Lot. I am currently on a cruise and I thought it would be fun to film a little video and read a book about a serial killer on a cruise while I'm on a cruise. This book is called The Stowaway. It's by James S. Murray and Darren Wehrmouth. It's an author duo I've never heard of, but the concept is pretty interesting. So it's about this woman who is a juror on a trial for a serial killer case with some circumstantial evidence, and the killer ends up being thrown into a mistrial because they can't find him guilty. So about a year later, one of the jurors is on a cruise and people start dying, and they start dying in the same way that people were murdered by the serial killer. Like, his signature mark is the same in these cases on the boat. So I'm interested to check it out, and I'll update you guys as we go along. Hey, same spot, different time frame. I apologize in advance for the shakiness. The boat is currently moving, and I figured my tripod would be no help at this point. So I'm about halfway through the Stowaway, and I'm definitely enjoying it so far. The writing feels pretty like cut and dry. Our main character, Maria, she's a head of psychology at Columbia University, and she was a juror in the trial of Wyatt Butler. He's like an antique watch dealer who apparently likes to allegedly harm and unalive children. So just be warned if that's something that could potentially bother you or be too much to handle. This book does face a killer who harms children. I don't have any children, so even though it's pretty brutal, I can still read it. So I'm about 20 chapters in. The first 7 chapters kind of set up the story of like her dealing with the trial and being a juror, and like the things she learned about him, as well as like the backlash that the jurors faced when he was set free. And so she ends up like causing this big scene and gets put on like leave of absence for like a year for her job. So she decides to go on this cruise with her 2 kids and her fiance. And as she's on this ship, we see several points of view. We see like the head of security on the ship. We get a couple different viewpoints from other passengers, and we get her viewpoint. And she starts hearing these rumors of like a child gone missing, and then they found a decapitated head in one of the empty rooms, and some of the MOs seem to match up with the serial killer Wyatt. And so she kind of goes on a mission to find this guy and figure out what's going on. And at the same time, she gets these like weird scenes where she feels like she sees somebody creepy, or maybe sees him. And her fiance is like, oh, you're just having PTSD. Like, you know, I guess she had issues with this prior, but she's convinced that they're not safe here and that the killer is coming after her and her family. So I'm enjoying it so far. It's like a pretty like quick read. It only took me a couple hours to get through, like almost halfway. So I'll keep updating you if anything interesting happens, but I will see you in the next clip. friends. It's the next day and I only have like 80 or so pages left of the stowaway, so I thought I would pop in and give you an update. Also, I was just checking out the author's like info on the back cover, and James Murray is one of the guys off Impractical Jokers, which is really surprising. I guess he has a really dark side in comparison to his like easygoing and funny side. But anyway, so on the ship, another day has passed. We've had another murder, still with no clue as to who the killer is, although there have been some hints and I've got my suspicions of who the killer is. We have gotten small snippets of his viewpoint, along with Maria's and like a few other people, the head security officer and all that jazz. But I have my suspicion. They have tried to call in like for backup, but they're in the middle of the ocean, so neither the US or the UK can help them right now. But sorry if it's like super rocky. The boat has been very rocky today and it's really been throwing me off. I do want to show you though how dark this cabin gets. It's kind of spooky. Pitch black. So it can be very disorienting, but we're good. I'll update you guys when I finish. Hey friends, so remember in my last clip when I said that one of the authors of the stowaway was in Practical Jokers? Well, the joke's on me because I just checked and I had that book upside down the whole time I was talking, so. My bad. There is a really loud fan blowing outside my room though, so you might hear that. But anyway, I finished the stowaway. I really enjoyed it. I ended up being wrong about the killer, but it was like my second suspect, so I wasn't totally wrong. But the ending was like super high stakes. It was very thrilling and I really enjoyed it, even though it was a graphic story at times. I'm not gonna spoil the ending though. I will say I did enjoy this type of story. I feel like it was very similar to number 13 in the sense of the like psychological focus in this book, and I think I really enjoyed that aspect of it. I think it made it a lot more interesting, and it just made for some good plot points. But I really enjoyed this. It was pretty fun to read this while I was on a cruise. Thank goodness nothing crazy like that has happened on my vacation. But yeah, it was a good one. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. That's weird. Can I help you? This is not your room.